Well, hello, my friends, boys and girls. I'm Pearl of Wisdom, and you're listening to my NHL Pearls of Wisdom. But everybody in the land knows that now, didn't they? Yeah, I did it. I just did an awesome video yesterday with Steel Flyers. He likes to call himself. You can check him out at Twitter. On the Twitter there, Steel Flyers, at Steel Flyers. And we talked about the Buffalo situation a little bit. We talked about the playoffs. We talked about a whole bunch of stuff. He's a great podcaster that I'm collaborating with right now. I'd highly recommend that you check it out. In fact, I'll put it in the bottom there. How are you all doing, by the way? Are you getting through this whole no hockey thing? I'll tell you, it's a little tough on me. I have to admit, causing me a little bit of problems. But one of the things that gets me through is all the letters. Lance Merstens, I think that's how you say it. Lance Merstens from Great Britain, Royalton, Great Britain. He wrote asking, I have seen a lot of other podcasters or YouTubers do their favorite player from each team videos, and he really enjoys them. He was wondering if I might do the same thing. And there's a lot of great YouTubers out there, by the way. Hot Takes Hockey, Gravite, Off the Wall Hockey. Fantastic, by the way. He's on here all the time. John from Off the Wall, John from Hot Takes. I like watching them too, and I have watched some of those, and I thought about doing them, but since you wrote a letter and asked me that, I thought, you know what, I'm going to do that, sir. And of course, we have pearls for you out to the Great Britain. Helen ground up some pearls. Out to the land of Great Britain they go. There you go. You got some pearls there, buddy. So that's a great suggestion, and I'm going to do that for you. So I better get started at it because we got a lot of teams to get through, and everybody in the land needs to know who my favorite players are, don't they? Tell me who your favorite players are down there in the comment section. If you must have time in between naps to get in your 30 players for each team and all that, or maybe just tell me some of the ones that you like from each team. You don't have to do them all. There's no rules here at Pearls of Wisdom Industries, No rules at all. I'm going to move this over a little bit. There. Okay, so let's start off with the Arizona Coyotes. Lawson Crouse is my favorite player from the Arizona Coyotes. A guy they picked up from Florida very cheaply. High pick in 2000. I'm going this off my head. I didn't even look at this. I think it was 2016, something like that. It was a weak draft anyways, but he was picked very high. No, it wasn't a draft. It was 2015. That's what it was. It was a strong draft. People had said that there was a lot of people that said that maybe he shouldn't be that high. They were questioning his offensive upside and all of that. And I kind of agreed with that. But watching this guy play, I just find he gets better and better every year. He's a tough, grinding out type player that can add to your offense. He can do a whole bunch of things. I don't know. I just like the way he plays. Do you have players like that? Are just like, I like the cut of your jib there, buddy. And I like the cut of his jib, whatever a jib is. Okay, the Maple Leafs. By the way, I'm not doing this in alphabetical order. Oh, no. No. I got all of this off of Cap Friendly. And this is basically done by who has the most cap space. By the way, Arizona, if you can believe it, has the least amount of cap space in the land. That is crazy for a team that's really not a cup contender. Anyways, I'll get into that some other time. Maple Leafs. My favorite player on the Maple Leafs, Jake Muzzin. I know you'd think it was Matthews, almost Tavares. I really love Tavares, but there's something just a little greasy about what happened with the Islanders there. I don't know. It seemed to me like, okay, where was his heart? His heart was probably right, but I like Jake Muzzin because he's one hell of a good defenseman. He's one of those guys everybody says he's underrated, but I still don't know if they realize how underrated they are. Not everybody does, but a lot of people do. He's fantastic. He has been one of the best defensemen in the league as far as I'm concerned. Top 15 for a long time. but he does it in such a way that people just don't pay attention to it. He just doesn't make mistakes. Solid, knows how to rub guys out, knows how to play physically, has a decent amount of offense. He's just one of those all-around type players. Guy he reminds me of is a guy that I brought up before with John from Off the Wall Hockey. Bruce Driver from New Jersey. Now, there's a name. If you know that name, you are a guy who knows hockey. Bruce Driver. He's one of my favorite ever. San Jose Sharks. Or sorry, no. Dallas Stars. Not San Jose Sharks. Joe Pavelski. I've always loved him. I thought it was too, I really was shitty that he had to move on to Dallas the way he did after everything he'd done for that team. I understand why it had to happen, but look what happened to San Jose after that. And I think it's a big part of a great underestimated leader of Joe Pavelski. He doesn't get enough. And a lot of these guys are guys that I picked that I find are underrated, and I just want to give them a shout out. The St. Louis Blues, Oscar Sundqvist. I've talked about him lots in my shows, and you all know it. And Oscar, if you're out there, I know you're out there listening. Oscar Sundqvist played for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and Sidney Crosby said several times that he loved the kid. He's an amazing character, great two-way center, doesn't get enough credit for how good he is. That's why I'm giving him up there. I just love his character. I love the way he is. If Sidney Crosby loves a guy, probably I'm going to love him too. Vancouver, Pettersson. He's the closest thing to Gretzky I've seen in style since Gretzky. And he's just so fun to watch. And he's a great kid. He's got an amazing attitude, fantastic leader. People are just going to grow to love this guy. He's somebody you just can't help but love, and that's why I take Pettersson. He's amazing to watch. Flyers, Carter Hart. Same thing. I haven't seen a goaltender with this kind of character come up since Fleury, and the way he just doesn't get shaken by anything, I just love him. I love him. Plus, Philadelphia is my favorite team from the East. Carolina, Philadelphia, kind of, but probably leaning to Philadelphia, and. So for that, and he's going to bring a cup to Philly. I do believe that. Blackhawks, Kirby Dach. First of all, he's from Fort Saskatchewan, here in the Edmonton area where I'm from. So that's part of the reason he's a homeboy. But if you don't know who he is, you're going to know who he is, and you're going to love him. He's one of those guys that just leads. Jonathan Toews is probably he's kind of like a Toews clone, to tell you the honest truth. They found their new number one center who's going to play both ways, play the right way, and have an awesome, incredible leadership and attitude. Love him. Caps, Washington Capitals, Ovechkin. I love the way Ovechkin has brought fun to the game. The guy has fun. He won the cup. You saw all the videos of when he won the cup. There has been a lot of people that have slagged him, that he's uncoachable, but Barry Trotz came out and said that is absolute garbage. He's one of the most coachable players I've ever coached. He took all of it well. He never lashed out at anybody for all the crap he took in Washington for not being able to play defense and all that stuff like that. And he's just fun. He's a fun guy. I like guys that bring fun to the game, and Ovi has done that better than maybe anybody for a long time. Vegas, I already talked about. Maybe I didn't. Marc-Andre Fleury is maybe my favorite player in the league. Nicer guy you're just not going to find. The way he handled his exit out of Pittsburgh has been amazing. He never complained about anything. He works his ass off. Anybody who's ever known him says he's just an amazing human being. How amazing of a human being he is will never make up for how great of a player is. And that says a lot when you hear that about a guy. Panthers, I love Huberdeau. I love a lot of guys on that team. But there's something about Frank Vetrano. He's just a grinding guy who gets the most out of himself every time he plays. He's got a great shot and has learned how to become an NHLer. And I just love him. I don't know. That's the best way I can say it. He's a guy who shouldn't have made it that made it. And I love guys like that. Oilers, McDavid, of course. How the heck? He does things almost every game that just jaw-dropping. Mario Lemieux, Wayne Gretzky, those kind of guys did that kind of stuff, and he does that kind of stuff, and he's just incredible. I just love him. But I also love Cassian, so I'm going to give him a little bit of a, because ex-Elkie like me, got out of it, doing well, feel good, feels good down there in the feelings. Bruins, Bergeron, most professional player ever. Nobody can ever say a bad word about Bergeron. Best two-way player, one of the best two-way players of all time, maybe the best. Probably should have more Selkies than he already has. He's just fantastic. Penguins, same thing, Crosby. Crosby should have more Selkies than he already has. The only thing is they don't want to give all the hardware to him. He's as good of a defensive player as Bergeron. He doesn't get enough credit for his defensive game. The only other player that can say he was the best offensive player and defensive player in the game at one time would have been Bobby Orr. Crosby can say that. I think he could say that he was at one time the best defensive and offensive player in the game, or can say that pretty much for his whole career. So, yeah, kind of hard not to love him. Sabres, Dahlin, because he's a fantastic defenseman that's stuck on that team and hasn't complained once. I've heard the things out of Eichel, and I understand them. Don't get me wrong. I'm not putting Eichel down necessarily. It's just through all the stuff, Dahlin has just done his thing every game. He's gone out there, been a great defenseman, didn't seem to let anything bother them that was going on around him. There's a lot to respect for a guy like that going through the situation he has in Buffalo. So, yeah, that's the reason why I love him. Canes, Williams. Williams is one of the greatest leaders ever. He's not the highest scorer, and he won a Player of the Year award in LA from when he won the Cup. Simply because if anybody knows him, he just takes teams and puts them on his back morally. He puts an energy into a team that's just unexplainable. It's just natural. He's an incredible player. I absolutely love him. Justin Williams, fantastic player. He better be a Hall of Famer. I'm telling you, Mr. Bettman, and I know you're watching. Williams better be a Hall of Famer, my friend. Calgary Flames, Matthew Tkachuk. I just love guys like that. Piss people off, but can drop them when he has to. He's a yappy, yes. Is he going to get you angry? Yes, but he does it all to win. And I know the whole situation that happened. The whole situation that happened with Cassian, where he took his lumps. That time of the game, they needed a win. He took his beatings. Yeah, did he piss off Cassian all game? Yeah, he's good at that. But eventually, he dropped him. He showed himself to be a person that is able to take his lumps when needed. And I love guys. I was a very annoying player when I played. Very annoying. You got to be tough to do that, because you're going to take a lot of dirty shots. You're going to take a lot of extra abuse that most players don't take. And Matthew does it. And for a guy who does it the way he does it with class, actually. The Bolts, Maroon. He played for the Oilers, and I loved him. He's another guy like Williams, but didn't have the offense of Justin Williams. He's able to change the energy in a team just with his presence. He's funny. He knows how to get people motivated. He just seems to be able to bring the right energy every game, and I just loved him. I love him. Ask anybody that has played for him or has been a fan that on a team that's played for. You just can't help but love the guy. Wings, Bertuzzi. I don't know why. There's just something about his smirk when he plays, and the way he's one of those yappy guys that knows how to play the game. He can score from the wing. I think he's going to be a lot better than a lot of people. There's John seems to think he's going to be a second line from Off the Wall Hockey. Thinks he's a second line guy. I think he's a number one line guy. He just keeps on getting better and better, and I really like him. The Preds, this is going to be an odd one for a lot of people. Jared Tenorti. First of all, I loved his father. Played for the Minnesota Wild. For that era, he was great. Great character. But this is a guy that never gave up. Didn't have really the skating to play. Plays a type of game that's kind of past its time now. But he changed his game. And he changed the way that he worked amazing hard at his skating. And he just learned how to adjust to today's game. And he made it. It looks like he's made it. At 28 years old, it looks like he's made it for Nashville, and that is freaking awesome, dude. And I love stories like that, so that's why he's my favorite on the Nashville Predators. The Ducks, I'm going to go with Manson. Underrated, strong, physical defenseman, old school style that can skate. I just love him for that reason. Not much more to say about that, but he's just an all-around guy, underrated. Again, one of those underrated guys. Doesn't get enough credit. Would love him on my team. Love, love, love. I keep on hearing hints of possibility that in their rebuild they could trade him, and if the Oilers or Philadelphia got him, New York Islanders, Devon Taves. Watch out for this kid. He's only 26 years old. He's kind of a late bloomer. I think he's going to be a number 1-2 defenseman. I love his two-way game. I like everything about him. I love his attitude. What is it about guys named Taves and that kind of leadership and stuff like that? I don't know. But Winnipeg Jets, Kyle Connor. Kyle Connor is the hockey guy, the hockey man's hockey man. You know, he just goes out there and does his thing, drives to the net, plays hard, doesn't. He kind of sits in the background. He doesn't toot his own horn, and does this thing. I don't know. There's just something about him. He's like Ryan Smith when he played for the Oilers type thing. Just that kind of character, and I just like that kind of character. New York Rangers, Brandon Lemieux. And here, people are going to be like, what? He's annoying. Yeah, that's what I liked about him. He's annoying, but he can play all aspects of the game. Not necessarily dirty, but he plays on the dirty side, and I don't mind. You got to walk that line sometimes, and there's just something I like about him. Just something I like about him. I think part of it was that I always liked Brandon Lemieux to begin with, and he was sort of my guy, watch out for him guy, and he's showing it. I think he's got more offense than people realize. For the Habs, Montreal Canadiens, Jeff Petrie. Jeff Petrie also played for the Oilers. He was great. When they traded him, I was like, what are you doing? And extremely underrated. They only got a second-round pick for him or something like that. It was just ridiculous. Showed how poorly managed the Oilers were at the time. And he's an unassuming guy who goes out and does his thing every day, never complained. On a bad team, he showed a lot of character, and I just loved him, and that's why I take him. Jackets, Seth Jones. Seth Jones will better win in Norris. He deserves it. He's one of the best two-way players in the game, maybe top 5, maybe even top 3. So underrated, not getting enough credit. Plays Tortorella's system to a T and doesn't complain at all. In other systems, he would probably have more offense, actually, than Tortorella's system. Doesn't say a word about it. Plays in a small market and has got a smile on his face every day. Great guy. Love him. That's my pick. Colorado Avalanche, Makar. Cale Makar. I just love defensemen like this. He's just guys that can play with that type of offense, like Brian Leach, Niedermeyer back in the day. My San Jose pick, which is next, so I might as well combine the two, San Jose Sharks. Carlson, same thing. I just love those kind of guys that play with that kind of offense. People make fun of their defense, and I think that they're not as bad defensively as they're given credit for, as people say they are, because they just play a type of game that is different than everybody else's. Paul Coffey. But Makar's even got better defense than Carlson, I think, and Paul Coffey. He's still got a long way to go. He's got a lot of Norses in his pocket, and I love him. So I almost took McKinnon here for the same reason why I love McDavid. He's amazing too. It was tough to choose. Landeskog. There's a lot of great players in Colorado. San Jose Sharks, I already said Carlson. Ottawa Senators, Brady Tkachuk. Again, Matthew and Brady Tkachuk just do it the right way. Keith brought them up in that tough and rumble, old school type. They can play any way you want. They can kick your ass. They're going to annoy the crap out of you. They do it with a smile on their face. They're great for their teammates. Just awesome players, just hockey players, pure, unadulterated. Everything that a hockey player should be are what the Tkachuks are, and I love it. And the Devils, this is going to surprise you. The New Jersey Devils, this is my last one, is Schneider and Corey Schneider, because he handled the whole situation with Luongo in Vancouver with so much class. I don't know what happened to him in the last 5 years with his confidence, injuries, all of the things, but he went down to the minors and he worked his ass off. I heard some stuff about him down in the minors. Like people say, he never complained once. He treated life like it was amazing, even though he was down in the minors, and he just kept on working and working and working and getting better and better and never giving up. I think he should have a Masterton. Did he get a Masterton? He should, because he's just a never give up kind of dude, and he's back with the Devils. He looked great at the end of last year, and I'm rooting for you next year, my friend. I almost took Bobby Ryan out of Ottawa too, and I want to give you an ups too. Awesome for deciding to go get yourself some help with your addiction issues and your back, and that is amazing. So those are my favorite players, and thank you for the letters. Remember, Guido goes down and gets the letters every day. We spread them over the letters table, and Melissa Hernandez and everything. We're sending everybody out right now their Pearls of Wisdom necklaces that have subscribed lately. Hit the subscribe button and the bell, and I'll send you a My NHL Pearls of Wisdom necklace. You know that. Everybody in the land knows that. But we do the Perlo dance. Send me some videos about you doing the Perlo dance with me, okay? And we read the letters, and sometimes we write them out here. So also down in the comment section, we'll comment on your comments, and we can discuss who these players are. What do you think of my players that I love? I want to know. Until next time, have a great day. Lots of love to ya.